Hey, NWM Tribe, as we are kicking off this month of April, I thought I will share with you some amazing resource to you as female ministers. As women, we are very privileged to be able to reach out to our Muslim friends and neighbors in our states. There's about like 3-something million people, and that's a conservative number of Muslim neighbors right within our states today. And we are uniquely positioned to be able to reach out to them and share the love of Christ with them while they're here among us. So I want to continue that conversation because this month of April is a very huge, important month for our Muslim neighbors because they get to celebrate this thing called Ramadan. Well, I don't know what that is. So I'm going to bring on my friends just to talk more about this. So let's invite Lynda Hausfeld and Jillian Rogers to talk more about this very important holiday that our Muslim neighbors are celebrating. Hey, Lynda and Jillian, How are you doing?
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me today. You guys both represent Say Hello organization and ministries, and we're going to talk more about that first of all. But before we do that, why don't you kind of tell us where you're at, what you're doing, your ministry experiences and profiles. So Lynda, kick us off.
Well, I direct Say Hello Serving Muslim Women, which is an Assemblies of God world missions entity that equips Christian women in the local church globally for outreach to Muslim women. This is one of the reasons we're so excited to get to speak with you today, because you as female ministers have a lot of influence in your broader circles of women. And we really believe that if every Sue in the pew, so to speak, were empowered or excited or felt invited into outreach to Muslim women, that we would reach the Muslim world for Christ.
That's right. Amen. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for leading Say Hello so wonderfully. Now, Jillian, where are you joining us from and what's your role in that?
Yeah, so I am privileged to work with Lynda on her team. And so my family and I have transitioned from living in Southern Asia to now we live in Springfield, Missouri, still with AGWM. And we equip the global church to reach Muslims in their context, wherever they may find them.
Yeah, and that wherever it can be right here in our own neighborhood, right? It can be
Absolutely.
Everywhere, really. Yeah. So month of April, there is a celebration called a Ramadan. What is it exactly?
Well, Ramadan is the most sacred month in the Muslim calendar. It commemorates Islam's hugest miracle, which is what they believe to be the initial revelation of the Quran through their prophet Muhammad. This month, Muslims celebrate and commemorate this major event. And Ramadan is also more than a celebration, it's an obligation. One of Islam's 5 pillars, the practices of faith that Muslims engage in, one of the 5 pillars is that they should practice or observe, participate in this month of Ramadan's activities. And just one more thing so that you can understand that a little bit better. Islam is a deeds-based religion. So Muslims might make it to paradise someday if they earn enough merits to do so. Well, these 5 pillars comprise that system of merits that will give them opportunity to enter paradise someday. Muslims might be pretty casual the rest of the year and then be really devout during the month of Ramadan because they expect special things from Allah during that month, and because they're going to work really hard to make sure that they do this right, because this is what's going to give them more merit in the balance of those good and bad deeds on Judgment Day.
Wow. So it's kind of like a salvation by works kind of mentality.
It is.
Yeah. And so we can, that's a bridge. Maybe we can kind of somehow tie that into our conversation and find some commonality and thread and to start the conversation. But what are some of the things that they do? I do understand that they were doing fasting and they just, not the whole time, right? But just daily fasting, and they come
Right.
together and celebrate at the end. So as community members, maybe friends, like maybe some of you guys know coworkers as a Muslim, or a friend, maybe if you're a student, a fellow student, maybe a Muslim, maybe it's your children's parents, friends' parents,
Mhm.
it's all around us if we just open our eyes. So how do we make that connections with them? And when we do, what are some of the do's and don'ts? That will be some important things. So Jillian, would you like to tell us about that?
Yes. Well, this actually provides a huge opportunity for us to just enter in with them into their world. Muslims are incredibly hospitable, and that's definitely something that we as believers can appreciate. Right? And we fast as well, and so we have had amazing opportunities just to connect with local Muslims during this time. They have something called iftar every evening because they are fasting from basically during the daylight hours. And so they are watching the clock. They are watching as the news is coming out of Mecca, when they are able to break their fast every evening, literally down to the minute, and they will have a very elaborate meal. And they love to bring their family into it. And the women are preparing all day long for this feasting time that they will have. And so my family and I have been privileged to be at lots of different iftar meals, both overseas and then again here in the States with local Muslims that we are engaging with. And it has just been a really special time. We have just been invited into their homes. They have been so graciously hospitable to us. And so we understand when we go into their home, we do not bring, we always bring a gift because that's the right thing to do. And so we might bring flowers, we might bring chocolate or something that they are able to eat. That would be halal, something that is acceptable for them. So definitely no pork products. And as ministers,
Right.
we'll not be doing alcohol anyway, because that's definitely off limits for them. But we would just bring something to be a gracious guest. And then we would use our right hand because we are accepting and giving gifts with our right hand only. And there are lots of reasons for that. And then we just enter into, the meal with them. And it has provided just so many amazing conversations. I have had wonderful gospel conversations in the midst of this breaking of the fast meal with Muslim women, where I've been able to talk with them about why I fast and how I pray and who Jesus is. And it's a wonderful point of connection.
Oh, that's really great. Because as Americans, we have this image of Muslims that they are terrorists or, they're just people that are very unlike us. But what I'm hearing is that as you become their friends and neighbors, that you're finding commonalities of even like the idea of monotheistic view, that we serve only one God, different gods, but we serve one God. And we value family relationship. We value meals around the table. I love the fact that how you're intentional about finding those commonalities and reaching out. That's important. But I think there's one more important question about how do we even start that relationship? Lynda, could you speak into that? Because for those of us who are wanting to invest in that relationship, we may not even know how to even begin. How do we start? Where do we do it?
You're so right, Saehee. Ramadan isn't the most important part of relating to Muslims. It's just one of those open doors that the Lord gives us for opportunity, maybe for some special conversations that we might not otherwise have. It's a spiritual time for them, and so we also are able to speak spiritually into their lives. But really, probably, I think the most ironic bit about outreach to Muslims is that it's just so easy. You can't begin a friendship with anyone until you initiate conversation. And we at Say Hello understand that initiating that conversation is vital to a future friendship. Of course, your goal is to be friends. It allows Muslims to see how much Jesus loves them. And may I also say that this aspect of engaging with Muslims in friendship that allows them to see how much, experience the love of Jesus in so many facets of our lives. They see our families, they see how our husbands treat us. They sometimes even come to work with us or just so many things, but it opens the door for us. It's an awesome privilege for us to also get to walk with Jesus and walk together with them toward Jesus, if I can put it that way. There have been so many surprises along the way, Jesus loves them more than we could ever love them. And the closer we draw to Jesus with Muslims, I just want to put this out here because it's just so important and so wonderful. It's the closer we draw to Jesus too. I mean, it's just a miraculous sort of journey. And, it's not always an easy journey. It can be a very trying journey, but we learn more about Jesus along that path as well as we walk with Muslim women. And it's not about, so we want to be really careful that we don't feel like, oh boy, I'm going to win Muslims for Jesus. I don't believe that that's how Jesus wants or ever intended for people to come to know him, like just to come out and spew the truth about Jesus the way you know it. That is probably not going to work so well with Muslims. But if we come into this relationship with the mentality of, I am going to love my Muslim friend like Jesus loves me, then that Muslim friend will be attracted to the very person of Jesus in our lives. And sometimes we might feel like we're discipling ahead of their even making a decision. But every single step that we take with a Muslim is a step that's closer to Jesus. And that's why saying hello is so very important.
Yeah, that is so true. And I think there's something a mutual learning, as we engage with one another, they have an opportunity to learn about true Christians and true Christianity and true God. And that's invaluable. And that can only happen through relationships. And as women, I think we're strategically positioned to have that fellowship because oftentimes as far as from my observations and my relationship with my Muslim friends in my town is that women come and for schooling or maybe come along with their husbands and spouses, but they're very excluded. They're really not integrated in the major societies. So they are very lonely. I think this is a wonderful time and opportunity for women and to open that fellowship opportunity to talk about children, talk about families, talk about God, and just over a meal and tea and just opening that conversation alone. I've witnessed it personally that how their perspective of Christians changed because what they see about America is what they see through the movies, Hollywood made movies, and it's not positive, right?
Not generally.
Yes, and absolutely. It's the Christian women who are going to reach Muslim women, and I was even having a conversation this past weekend in a church service where women were asking, I have Muslim coworkers and I see Muslim women, while I'm out shopping or around town, and I know that I'm supposed to do something, but I'm maybe intimidated. I have some fear. I don't know what to do. And I love those conversations because I love to be able to tell those women that it really is as simple as just beginning with, saying hello, because we love to say the Muslim woman is more like us than we might initially think. I mean, she's a woman, she has hopes, she has dreams, she has fears, she has insecurities, she's a wife, maybe a mother, all of these things. And, we may focus so much on the veil around her head, and covering her hair. But what Jesus wants us to remember is the veil that is covering her heart. And that's where we come in. And that's where we are able to share truth and to shed light on his word and to bring that to her. And so it all begins with Christian women, just entering in, and Muslim women are hungry for that. And especially here in this country, they expect us maybe to walk away. And when we show that hospitality and when we show that grace and that love that we have received from Jesus, there's no telling what he will do on the other side of that.
That is so true.
That's right. There's so many of us who have outreach to Muslims here in the United States and have been asked by our new Muslim friends, why are you the first? Why are you the first to want to befriend me? Why are you the first to invite me into your home? Why are you the first to want to come into my home? We have one girl who used to be a Muslim and has accepted Jesus into her life. And she said, for 8 years, I drove past churches, Christian churches, and in my university, I wanted to know how my friends celebrated. What did Easter mean? What did Christmas mean? And I would ask and I wouldn't even get answers. It's like people didn't really want to talk to me. But, it took 8 years, 8 years for someone to actually reach out to me and want to show me who Jesus is. And, it's not that we're not nice people, the Christians. I mean, it's not that we don't want them to know about Jesus. It's just that Satan has built these barriers between us. I mean, the last thing in the world he wants to happen is for one of us to say hello. The last thing he wants is for a Muslim woman to want to know more about Jesus. Right. And here's one more key factor. The safest place for a Muslim woman, as in safest, according to Islam's modesty codes and practices, her safest place is going to be inside her home. Now, men usually fellowship, like Christian men and Muslim men, they'll hang out in restaurants and, outdoors kinds of places. But we get invited into the home right away. And it's oftentimes that invitation that opens the door to our kids being friends, or sometimes our kids being friends is what opens the doors to our being friends. But it definitely opens the doors for our husbands to be friends with their husbands as well. We could tell you so many wonderful stories about how that happens. And it's just downright fun, Saehee. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, and that should be it, right? Making friends should be fun, whether they're Muslims, Buddhists, whatever, the Christians, whatever it is, it should be fun about making friends and introducing them to our best friend, who is Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
and I love it. I would love to get more information, and because a lot of us that are listening to this, it may be a new territory for them. Like we believe in reaching all nations, but when it comes to Muslim, we want to, but we just don't know how to. So what are some of the tools that you have available for us to tap into moving forward?
Yes. Well, we have a helpful Ramadan's basic guide that is available on our website. We also have our probably key resource, which is our devotional, a 7-day guide to take you into just entering into friendship and praying about that. You can see the website there where you can go and you can download all of these totally free. We have dozens of resources, and we're increasing our language capability there as well. We have Spanish, French as well, working on Mandarin, and wanting to just put these tools into the hands of Christian women.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for that information. So if you go to sayhelloinfo.com, and you will find all the social media links and other resources that will be helpful to you. Lynda and Jillian, thank you so much. First of all, for your heart for friends from all walks of life, especially Muslim friends that seem to be very hard to reach. But God has his eyes on them as well. So thank you for encouraging us with your own testimonies and working on the resources to equip us to better minister to our Muslim neighbors. Is there any final encouragement as we are kind of gearing towards and maybe praying for one Muslim friend this Ramadan month? Is there any encouraging word that you want to leave us with?
Well, I would say that that's the best place to start. And if you don't know how to pray for Muslims, you can find out on our website as well. You can join the prayer network, and you'll learn a little bit more about Muslim women as you go along. Definitely, prayer is the first place to start. Saehee, I'd like to just kind of pitch this, if you don't mind, for just a second. We are also willing to come and do workshops in your districts, in your churches, in your small groups. We have some curriculum that we're just dying to put out there for some people that, just want you to know that we're here for you. And we're really eager to help you in any way that we can as you venture out and as you lead others to venture out.
Thank you. We need that. Thank you so much. Jillian, final thoughts.
I would just encourage, all of our listeners, don't be afraid to, to give a reason for the hope that is within you. I have never had, a Muslim friend so far be upset with me for talking about Jesus. She wants to share her faith with me, obviously, and she understands that I want to share my faith with her. And so she knows that as she invites me into, say, with Ramadan, the holiest time in her faith for her, it's perfect. The last couple of years, it's lined up with Easter for us. And so, we've had, Muslims in our home, Easter and Christmas and so many times, and they're curious and they want to know and they expect us, to tell them. And we have been amazed at the conversations that we have had and just the seeds that have been planted. And so I would just say, don't be afraid to speak out and to share. And Muslims do want to know, and especially here in the US. And let's not have them wait 8 years for someone to share with them.
Oh, that's so great. Thank you so much. And I've also been challenged by our Muslim neighbors that if there's one thing that I've really learned from them is their unapologetic faith, that Islam is our identity. And I pray that our Christianity, our Jesus Christ becomes who we are, our very true identity. So wherever we go, we can't help but to talk about Jesus. So let that be our prayer. And then let's just pray for that one friend. Wouldn't that be amazing if all of us could have that one meaningful engagement with one Muslim friend, whether women or men or children? That would be so wonderful. So with that encouragement prayer, I just want to bless you. Thank you so much, friends, for joining us. And just please follow their social media and get more information as you minister to many nations this month. God bless you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.